Happy New Year. So I have had so many of my girlfriends reach out to me and they're like, okay, I'm ready. So let's talk about that for a minute. I have been sober now for, I want to say 140 days. If not, it's getting really close. I have always adopted a super healthy lifestyle. I eat very, very healthy. But I still was doing some things that were triggering the absolute shit out of my body. One of them was alcohol. Another was I was still had some twisted ideas on what was healthy. Like I would drink coconut waters that had a lot of preservatives with them and just stuff like that. You know, things that had heavy preservatives or even hidden sugars, sauces, even from the health food store. Yeah, I know, go figure. I would just have these ideas that things were healthy that weren't. So long story short, I removed alcohol from my body, 140 days ago, and then I just started removing the things that were triggering me. I had actual renal failure. Renal failure is kidney failure. So I kind of got so sick and considered myself really healthy, so my frustration was really high. Really wasn't getting help from medical doctors that I needed until those test results came back. Let me tell you, their panic set in. As they had, kind of not necessarily believed me, but mostly just kind of weren't taking me seriously. My thyroid was so swollen that I had a hard time wearing turtlenecks like the one that I have on right now. I didn't like anything touching my neck. That has all healed itself completely naturally through food and just removing things. So make it, if you're going to do like your New Year's resolution stuff, definitely do a dry January if you can. See how you feel. Even just remove as much alcohol as you can. I got to tell you, any alcohol is just so inflammatory. You're really not going to get the full benefits of feeling super fucking fantastic until you remove that shit from your system. So I'm just going to be honest about that. There's just really no good way around it. And then we're surrounded by a lot of friends who are in the health industry. Being athletes, we have all these friends who I'm a health coach, I'm a bodybuilder, I'm a professional athlete, blah, blah, blah. Still, the shit I see them put in their mouth just honestly kind of blows my mind. Of course, I am probably on average 10 years older than most of those people. So they haven't quite hit the role that I have. The closer I get to 50, the harder I have had to battle to feel good. So culprit really came down for me was food. So first thing I did, remove alcohol. Then I started juicing. Juicing for me was a way to just super infuse my body with the vitamins that I needed. And you're not going calorie deficient. You're just super infusing. You're staying away from fruit, juices. You're juicing vegetables. So the first thing I did was order a badass juicer. I've had a juicer for years and I've always juiced. I love juicing. Once, a month I would do a 3-day little juice fast, whatever. But this was super badass. So I made sure that every juice that I made, my favorite combination is 1 green apple, kale, 5 stalks of celery, a lemon, a juice of a whole lemon, cucumber, which is badass, parsley, which I think gives a really nice taste, and a huge piece of ginger. I mean, ginger is so fantastic. This stuff is like a fucking mad superfood. And then to go a little step further, I have been buying turmeric root, also by the pound, and I put turmeric root in everything that I juice. I started out with smaller amounts because it is super, pungent. I started out with smaller amounts and then I would just add it. Now I swear I could just do a shot of turmeric root. It's really weird. And then separate of that, I started juicing wheatgrass separately. So I would do every day a 2 to 4 ounce wheatgrass shot. I will tell you, wheatgrass is like sunshine in a fucking bottle. This stuff will fix just about anything. So much so I noticed some eczema starting the other day, on my elbow. It's very dry in the mountains. And we have a fire going all the time because it's cold in our cabin and blah, blah. So I noticed that I was getting a little bit of eczema on my arm, and I did a couple days of wheatgrass shots, and then I actually put the pulp from my juicer on my arm, and it went away in 5 hours. It was gone. I had been putting all sorts of weird shit on it for days and nothing helped, and it just knocked it out. The stuff is antibacterial, antiviral. It is so incredibly high in nutrients. It is probably one of the few things that you could just live on and be okay. It treats anemia. All the things that were bothering me just went away. Stuff is badass. If you can facilitate either growing your own wheatgrass, because it's kind of hard to find. I bought literally at my local Vons. Like, it's not super hard to find. You just got to look for it in the produce section. I buy little flats at a time, then I grow some. And I'm actually going to be growing more this spring for myself and for my friends. But for now, you can find it at stores. Like, they have it around. I live in a weird mountain town. Our Vons has it. Vons is like our local grocery store. And you just throw that sucker in a juicer. It's a little expensive, but it's cheaper than buying it at your juice bar. Your juice bar is going to charge you out the ass for this stuff. So just, you cut it, throw it in the juicer, make little 2-ounce shots. I do all my juices like 3 or 4 days in advance. I just throw them in mason jars and pour as I go. I like to drink my juice in the mornings. I start with like a real fatty coffee, like organic. Dude, another thing, cut the shitty coffee out. Coffee is not bad for you. It's all the shit in the coffee. Molds. Oh my God. There's just so much crap in coffee. It's terrifying. Worst case, just stick with a really good organic coffee. Do your research. Make sure that they aren't known for having a lot of molds in their coffee. Grind it at home. Keeping everything as whole food as possible will help. I do my coffee in the morning with like coconut oil or some ghee is great. Throw that in there. Ghee is like the most coolest thing ever. Or even better, if you're super lazy like I am, Laird Hamilton, badass old dude like me, ex-surfer, has a really great product out. It's just basically a superfood coffee creamer. You can buy that shit on Amazon. I mean, they have it at Costco. You just throw a couple tablespoons of that in your coffee and go. It's got really good fats in it in the morning. So that's how I start. And this is just my daily routine at this point. Couple hours later, I do my juice. I like to do my juice on as empty of a stomach as I can. If I have my wheatgrass prepped already, I'll do my wheatgrass first, wait about an hour, then I do my juice. Then I like to jump into my bone broth. Bone broth is super freaking easy. Again, limited time. I'm a mother, I'm a CEO, I got shit going on. You can buy, Costco has a great sipping bone broth. It tastes delicious. I now make my own and can my own, so I always have it ready to go. But that sipping bone broth is great. Anytime you make a soup, and then midday, if you need to do something after your juice, bone broth is an awesome form of protein. And then from there, I just eat it where the hell I want. But what I eat is whole food, okay? So nothing in a package. And your meat should be grass-fed. Meat is so full of bullshit. Like, the stuff that in our grocery stores, like, they're actually killing us with our food right now. And you don't really realize how sick you are and how much you feel like shit until you remove that stuff from your body. Just a loaf of bread, look at what's in there. I mean, it's crazy. My kids, when they have like random things going on, I always go back to the food. I'm like, what is the food doing? My one daughter just struggles with stomach problems. We removed gluten. I guarantee you she's not gluten intolerant. It's all the shit in the wheat products right now. I mean, dude, there's chemicals in everything. The Roundup, it's so bad. If you don't think that's in your food, you're crazy. They're spraying everything. And I hate sounding like a crazy hippie. I'm telling you, I don't want to do this. It's what you have to do to be 100% you. It's the only way to really feel really good. So that's kind of my routine. People are like, I don't want to give up this, I don't want to give up that. You don't really, it's weird. When you get used to eating this way, I don't feel like I'm giving anything up. I just feel so good that I don't care. I still eat yummy food. Like, I'm a total foodie. I do I'll make energy balls with instead of using cocoa, I use, pure cocoa. And then instead of using sugar, I use maple syrup, which is so much better. Back to that too, integrating bee products into your body. Wow, honey, raw honey, removed all the pasteurized honey. Just use raw, freaking organic honey. Hard to find organic honey. That's a whole other conversation. The stuff is like honey products or bee products in general are great. Bee pollen. Another hack, I make my breakfasts 3 days in advance. I do, overnight oats. Oats are not bad for you. They don't trigger me, at least personally. I like oats. To be an athlete, go to the gym, go and do stuff, you gotta have energy, to get through your freaking day. I like oats, but I do find organic oats. You can even find gluten-free organic oats awesome, just because that there's nothing weird in them. But I like overnight oats, and they're easy to make. I throw some chia seeds in there, maple syrup, some almond milk or oat milk. I love oat milk. I'm a huge oat milk lover. They put a lot of seed oils in oat milk, which aren't super good for you. Oat milk is so easy to make at home. Same thing. I make a batch of oat milk and a batch of yogurt every week. Worst case, buy to Costco. Like, just cut. You can't, be perfect, but just get close. As the closer you get, the better you'll feel. You'll have so much freaking energy. People are always like, how are you canning at midnight? And how are you making your meals for the next 3 days at 1 a.m.? I'm like, you know what? Dude, I worked 12-hour day. I still have energy. I'm tired, but it's so worth it to me. I have such a benefit from eating that way and nurturing my body that I'm just a better person. I have more energy at work. I'm a better employer. I'm a better mother. I'm just better. And it's easy to muster up the energy to spend an hour in the kitchen I can make yogurt for the whole week in no shit 5 minutes. That's how long it takes. 5 minutes. I throw it in the Instapot. It's so easy. But it's clean. And I ferment mine for 24 hours, so there's no lactose. It doesn't mess up my stomach or anybody in the houses. But again, I use organic grass-fed milk. So you just have to think really simple, so simple that you're going to look at food and just be like, yeah, I shouldn't have that. My idea of something I have to, because, I probably was an alcoholic. I don't know. I really like partying. And my job is really stressful. I do miss that buzz sometimes, but now I just go after it in other ways. Exercise, I just feel really amazing. So, but drinking things helps me. New Year's was it was so annoying. Everybody was drunk, and I was like, yeah, here I am. I'm the lame sober person. I took a thermos full of really yummy mushroom tea. I have this company that I love their teas so much. You can order them on Amazon. They're called Ticino's. The tea company uses roasted mushrooms and roasted herbs. So they're roasted mushroom and herbal teas. Some have caffeine, some don't. But they're just prepackaged and they're mostly organic. Not all of them are, because they're honest. Tea is one of the most toxic things you can put in your body if it's not organic. So I trust the way that they do business, though. The ones that aren't organic and the way that they're packaging, I know that they're being completely honest, which I appreciate. But most of their stuff is organic. I made a whole thermos full of their teas. I actually love their Astragalus turkey tail tea. It actually tastes really good. It reminds me of a really light coffee because they roast it. It has a roasting flavor. It's kind of hard to explain. But then I add coconut cream. I buy coconut cream by the can, and I just put this in a small mason jar every week, and I use that in my coffee. It's just really creamy. I throw that in there, and then with some honey. And I just had this big awkward thermos I carried around. I was like, hi, I have my stupid mushroom tea because I'm the lame person that doesn't party. God, sorry, I just got down the hill. It's freaking hotter than hell down here. But there's ways of doing this where you don't feel like you're going without. You just have to be prepared. I don't go into situations where I know everybody's drinking without something to do. For me, it's having something to drink. In the summertime, I would always have this huge jug of fruit infused waters. I would just have this big water bottle, and I would throw in blueberries and some lemon and a couple things of mint. God, you can buy mint for cheap. You can grow it in your garden. Shit's a weed. And that would just I felt like I was doing something that tasted really good. It was icy cold. One of the nicest things I ever did for myself was get myself the juicer and an ice machine. Totally feel like a rich person. So I always have tons of yummy ice ready to go. But right now, it's wintertime, so having hot tea is this whole badass thing. And as people are partying and getting wild, I was like, wow, I'm gonna feel pretty damn good tomorrow morning because now I'm hydrated. So back to products that was in my tea, and the coconut cream. There are things in coconut cream that you don't want. One of them was Gorga. You'll hear more and more about that. Not good stuff, so you got to find a brand that doesn't have it. Again, just do the best you can. Not everything's going to be perfect for a while. As you adjust your diet and you feel better, you'll have more clarity and more energy and more money, because I'm going to tell you right now, eating whole foods is cheaper, even when it's all organic. Making my own yogurt, I can make 2 mason jars of yogurt for about $1.50 a mason jar. Yeah, you're welcome. Try finding whole milk yogurt at the grocery store. Sugar-free whole milk yogurt, good luck. You can't find it. And if you do, it's like $7 for a little pint of it. So yeah, this way of living, so, Instapot, that stuff. So back to the honey. So honey is something that I integrated immediately, and this was by accident. I didn't do it for myself. I actually did it for my Marley, my 10-year-old. She was just having major autoimmune problems, and the deeper I dove down into the rabbit hole of food, the more flipped out I got. I was like, I gotta tell you, like, it's the more you know, sometimes the scarier you become. I ended up on this podcast with a beekeeper. She's just a total genius, this woman. But when she was Marley's age, she had chronic inflammation in her tonsils. So she had like this chronic tonsillitis, and that's Marley. She'll get it 3, 4, 5 times a year. This last round, it wasn't even wintertime yet. It wasn't even flu season yet. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. Her tonsils get so swollen, you can hear it in her voice, but more than anything, she's in a ton of pain. Hurts to swallow, hurts to eat. It just hurts, and she just gets sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And this last round, I'm not a big doctor person. Like, we don't take our kids to the doctor. I'm one of those moms. They're, unimmunized, perfect little badasses. I was like, she needs a doctor. Her fever was not going away. We were like 14 days into this thing, and she was just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Well, the one night I drove down off the mountain to hit the health food store and grab what I needed for my diet. I like to get all my food, a week and a half ahead of time, so I'm set for 10 days. So I had to do a Costco run for my business, so I went ahead and hit the health food store. And this podcast came on. It just kind of came up after a podcast I was going to listen to, because that's like my favorite thing to do when I drive. And it was this lady that owns Beekeepers Naturals, and she started going into health and the immune system and all the things that honey and bee products do for people. Well, I had already been using bee pollen, with my little health journey recently. I added bee pollen to my overnight oats in the morning, or I'd throw them in my smoothies. And I did notice a difference with the bee pollen. I just felt better. Every time I add or take away something, because my diet is so incredibly clean, I definitely notice what my body doesn't like. I'm like, oh, body doesn't like that. I definitely felt better. So I was listening very closely, and then all of a sudden she mentioned why I think she was like an engineer or something. And then she was just really unhappy. And she went back to this story about when she was a little girl, how she had this chronic tonsillitis, and somehow, some way, her mom was told by somebody to try propolis. Well, propolis is a beehive, comes out of the beehive, but propolis is the part of the beehive that keeps the bees healthy. It's almost like their health mat. They walk across it. It is antiviral. It does all these crazy things. So she quit her day job and became a beekeeper, and now she owns Beekeepers Naturals, and their products are, in my opinion, the best there is. I've tried quite a few. I immediately ordered Marley the spray. That week she had to get this like foot-long needle stuck in her poor little butt cheek, and it was so traumatic for me and her. I felt so bad. This shot was huge, and it was incredibly painful. Her butt hurt for like a week. I mean, it was just awful. So this podcast that came up, during all of that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm such an asshole. So the problem is her tonsils. I don't know why they do this, but any cold or flu, that's exactly what happens to her. She's an athlete. She's a total, just complete badass mountain biker and snowboarder. So she was sick of missing days of school. She's homeschooling, but she was just sick of missing her life. You know, she's like, I don't like to feel like this anymore. So we removed gluten because we have a feeling that a lot of her problems are starting in her gut, and my awesome naturopath started her on that, or holistic doctor, whatever you want to call him. He's also a PhD in nutrition. And then I ordered Propolis from Beekeepers Naturals, and she has been using this every morning in her back of her throat. She just sprays it back. So I ordered some for me, and I've also been using it, and I gotta tell you, she hasn't had any problems since. Nothing. Zero. She'll get a little tiny cold and then it goes away. Those always used to set in her tonsils. It was this huge ordeal every time. She would get better and then she would just get sicker. So it's funny, you know, Willie, who's always been the healthiest, would miss practice because, you know, he won't do anything that I ask him to do. He's like his dad. He just wants to eat garbage. And me and Marley, who was always the sick ones, were like, bye, we're going snowboarding and skiing. And they were just sitting there like, huh? So yeah, now they're believers. But Beekeepers Naturals, Propolis, I have started putting honey products, bee products into everything. You know, raw honey, just raw honey. You don't want pasteurized honey. It breaks down the enzymes. Even in your tea, put your honey in your tea at the end when your tea is cooling down. Sometimes I do it anyways because I'm lazy, but whatever. And then I do royal jelly, which is what the queen eats. Duh. So I do royal jelly every morning. I just do a little tablespoon of it. Also Beekeepers Naturals. And then we do the Propolis every day. So those 3 products, or 4 actually, bee pollen, the Propolis spray, the regular raw honey, just in whatever you can. I love it in everything. Honey is so great. And then again, royal jelly, I think. So royal jelly, regular honey, pollen, and then your Propolis. It's amazing. I'm telling you, I just can't say enough good stuff about this. So I would start there. Just remove everything that's garbage, okay? If it's not a fruit, a vegetable, or grass-fed meat, don't eat it. There's so many hacks to this, though, to make your life easy. Costco has cheap organic vegetables in bulk. Buy a huge-ass bag of carrots. Juice half of it. Make your, you know, your yummy soups ahead of time for 3 days. You have lunch for 3 days. Just throw it in a mason jar, throw it in the fridge. It's cheap. And then, you know, Costco always has pre-packaged organic hard-boiled eggs. You know, they're organic. There's nothing weird in them. They're pre-packaged. Dude, my kids walk around those in their pockets. You know, it's just, they need some protein. Throw that in your mouth and go. Costco has, you know, pre-made sipping bone broth. Stuff tastes good. Bone broth that I've had before tastes like shit unless I make it because I'm the best. But the stuff's easy. It's cheap. It's not that it's $30 for a case of it. It'll last you for a month. You know, you spend $30 at Taco Bell. Like, come on, don't try to act like you don't. Or $30 on cocktails, easy. 2 rounds of cocktails, done. Yeah, so start simple. Get a juicer, get an Instapot. I'm gonna start dehydrating soon. That's a whole other story. Your Instapot, you can make your yogurts in. Your Instapot, you can make your soups in, and they're easy. You know, just start Googling easy recipes. I have a ton of recipes in my Instagram stories as well. Just go to my Instagram, Heels, Hellions, and Handlebars, and they're all there. You go to my story highlights, and it's just everywhere. I'm gonna actually start posting these more freely, but soon you'll all have to subscribe for that. So sorry about that. And I'm doing a cookbook soon. But anyhow, that's also another story. Start there, start simple, get the shit out of your mouth, stop drinking. I'm telling you, it is like this whole new world. You're gonna trip out. You're gonna be like, wow, I can't believe I just wasted all that time feeling like shit. It is a whole new world, like literally, whole new world. Yeah, what is that stupid song? And I promise you, you're going to, all the little things that you think are wrong with you, you're doing to yourself. Oh, my arthritis, that's alcohol. Oh, this, you know, I have rheumatoid arthritis and it hurts. It still hurts. Let me get this straight right now. But I was like exasperating that shit by like 10. I'm just so tired. Yeah, you're fucking tired. You're poisoning yourself every day. Your liver and kidneys have no time to adjust. The food alone is so scary. Don't even get me started on all this shit. I mean, I could go on forever and ever and ever. But stop eating shit in packages. Whole fruits, whole veggies. Oh, God. Throw the fucking nasty coffee creamer away. That shit is poison. Read the label. Can you read it? Do you know what that is? You don't want to know what that is. There are like 200 preservatives the United States government allows in our food, and it is all poison. Anything that is not organic, poison. And it's not because it's not, you know, don't even get me started on the genetically modified shit. This is stuff that is like so basic. We gotta go basic. I always tell people I hit rewind. Go back to the way the food was when we were kids. Dude, in the 70s, food was not like this. I did not grow up with food like this. And as food got weirder and weirder, my body got weirder and weirder. And I have been suffering. I had cancer at 24. What the fuck is that? Nobody has cancer at 24. That's crazy. That should never happen. That should never ever happen. So please, you know, go simple. And I promise you, you're going to feel so much better. Feel free to message me, and I will tell you exactly everything again. So get a juicer, get an Instapot, get a really good food processor. I love my Ninja, or a NutriBullet. I actually just bought a NutriBullet. Finally, I've been like fighting it because they're so expensive. I was like, oh, that's so bougie. But I gotta tell you, I don't know how I lived without this thing before, because now I make my own nut butters. All my yummy pureed soups. I mean, it just makes it so easy, and I save so much money because then I can it.